Host, Governor Anyang Nyong'o, Chairman and board members, CEO and staff of Nation Media Group, festival partners, dear delegates, let me start by congratulating Nation Media Group for putting together this second edition of the Kusi Ideas Festival in these challenging circumstances. When we met in Kigali last year, no one could have predicted that we would be in the middle of a full-blown global pandemic today. There has been a lot of speculation about why Africa is handling the COVID pandemic better than expected. What really matters is that the lessons we have learned and the solutions we have already applied will help us to recover together. Continued collaboration is key in order to emerge from this period in safety and prosperity. First, COVID notwithstanding, our people still want to travel easily across Africa and connect meaningfully with fellow Africans. We have to make this a reality by staying on track with the African Continental Free Trade Area and everything else we have always aspired to do together. Second, we will only get there if we harness the power of technology. In East Africa, we possess the natural talent to create innovative solutions that will generate wealth for our growing population. We must find new ways to invest in infrastructure, in our people, and in an enabling political and business environment. And finally, in Rwanda, we have learned that progress comes from ensuring participation and inclusivity. In the same way, the excellent ideas put forward by the talented people brought together by Kusi will make a difference. I'm delighted the Kusi continues to be a stimulating and inspiring forum for our region. Please count on Rwanda's support for this homegrown African initiative. I thank you.
Thank you very much for your virtual participation, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of Rwanda. And it was actually the support of President Kagame that made Kusi 1 possible. He was the host last year. And now it is my pleasure to invite His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of Kenya, to make his remarks and also officially open Kusi Ideas Festival 2 here in Kisumu County.
Your Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Cabinet Ministers present, Dr. Wilfred Kiboro, Chairman of the Nation Media Group, the Honorable Professor Anyang Nyong'o, Governor of the County of Kisumu, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, business leaders, innovators, researchers, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me wish you all a very good morning and thank you very much, Session Chair, for allowing me, first and foremost, to sincerely acknowledge and welcome to Kenya His Excellency President Paul Kagame and all other distinguished guests who have honored our invitation, some of whom are like me, attending this event virtually. Allow me also to congratulate the nation for conceiving and hosting the second year running the Kusi Ideas Festival, and I thank the county government of Kisumu under the leadership of Professor Anyang Nyong'o for seeing it through. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as with almost every African country, Kenya's necessary responses to COVID-19 have ensured that the worst forecast for public health did not come to pass in our countries. However, in implementing these public health measures, there has been a resultant slowdown in business and economic activities, which has in turn negatively impacted government revenues, thereby putting pressure on government's overall fiscal position. Across Africa, our response has been well sequenced and multi-pronged, involving a public health response to contain the spread of the virus and to minimize fatalities, together with a simultaneous adaptation of appropriate monetary policy responses that has eased liquidity constraints as well as solvency risks. The continent has also come up with a very innovative fiscal response that have cushioned the economic impact of the pandemic and helped keep small and medium enterprises in business. With international supply chains severely limited, our enterprises quickly adapted and began producing personal protective equipment, hospital equipment for both local and export markets. This is a lesson that the current situation is not merely a crisis, but one which has provoked nations to rethink and to come up with new, innovative ways of building our nations for survival. Fostering agility within our MSME sector will be instrumental in our Build Back Better programs. Regulatory barriers that prevent businesses from rapidly adopting to changing circumstances should be removed, and our enterprises should be encouraged to innovate. At the government level, it is our obligation to lead our nations out of the crisis and into a land of opportunity. To succeed in undertaking this task will, however, require enhanced collaboration with all our development partners, international finance institutions, our private sector, and including our small and medium-sized enterprises. I call on them to provide the necessary resources, and that is especially our international development partners and international financial institutions, to complement those of our governments as we implement our post-COVID-19 recovery plans. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be borne in mind that there cannot be a global bounce back that leaves Africa behind. Our development partners and the international financial institutions should take a long-term view and dispense with any short-term requirements or considerations that would only serve to slow down Africa's economic recovery. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a government and in the spirit of Pan-Africanism, it is necessary for us to consider responses that do not just seek to address direct and immediate impacts of COVID-19, but also those that result in wider sustaining of systems for the ultimate well-being of our people. In that regard, my government has swiftly designed the post-COVID-19 economic recovery strategy, together with our county governments, that will help accelerate Kenya's economic recovery and the attainment of higher as well as sustained growth. The ERS will also provide solutions for the mitigation of COVID-19's negative and economic as well as social challenges, while laying the basis for an even more prosperous, just, and equitable Kenya for all. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic was bound to affect more seriously the vulnerable part of our populations. Cognizant of this fact, my government moved fast and introduced several welfare measures to cushion our elderly, the urban poor, and vulnerable persons and businesses in our economy. We introduced a 100 for persons earning a gross monthly income of up to Kenya shillings 24,000. We reduced VAT over the period from 16% to 14%, as well as reduced income tax rate at both personal and corporate levels from 30 to 25%. And even as these short-term reliefs are set to lapse, because they will, my government is on course to introducing longer-lasting comprehensive measures to boost our economy and society post-COVID-19. With the lessons learned from the pandemic in mind, we shall focus on healthcare, promotion of the digital economy, fintech, education, as well as manufacturing. We have also noted the concerns of the media, and we are in the process of exploring ways which their sales and revenues can return to pre-COVID-19 levels. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I feel obliged to share with you an update on how our member states of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States are handling the pandemic. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the leadership of the OACPS has consistently shared experiences and strategies amongst its members. I am happy to report that the United Nations, the World Bank, and the bilateral global agencies, including bilateral development partners, have responded affirmatively to our appeals for assistance on behalf of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States. And for this, I express our heartfelt appreciation. May I reiterate that there is so much that we can do as a continent towards achieving Pan-Africanism and to enforce our visibility in the world stage. I welcome the Kusi Festival's dialogue as an important vehicle for promoting Pan-African ideas on innovations, recovery, and sustainability. I salute the huge spirit of innovation blowing across our African continent, particularly that coming from our youth. I therefore encourage my brothers and sisters across Africa to seize this opportunity and indeed to run with it. I am optimistic that the outcomes of the ensuing discussions and panels that will take place here will be mutually beneficial to all. Finally, once again, thanks to all our international and regional participants, the Nation Media Group, the Governor of Kisumu, and our development partners for being part of this dialogue process. I wish you all a happy and safe festive season ahead, and I look forward to working together with you to achieving the noble objectives of our Pan-African ideals. May God bless you all, and may God bless Africa. Thank you.